Hi, my name is Shaylin Blix, and today I will be speaking about stem cell research. According to the American Cancer Society, nearly 14.5 million Americans with a history of cancer were alive in 2014. It is estimated that about 1,685,210 new cancer cases will be diagnosed this year. The Parkinson's Disease Foundation states that approximately 60,000 Americans are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease each year. The Alzheimer's Association states that an estimated 5.3 million Americans of all ages had Alzheimer's disease in 2015. And finally, the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke claims that there are an estimated 12,000 spinal cord injuries every year in the United States alone. More than 250,000 Americans are currently living with spinal cord injuries. Compiling all of these statistics, there are over 21,557,210 Americans living with these diseases and injuries. Extensive research is done on each one of these diseases. All these researchers are trying to do the same thing, which is care and treat these diseases and injuries. They want to heal these millions and millions of people who may be in pain, suffering, and just trying to live their lives. As you can see, there is an extensive need for treatment and potential cures of all these diseases. Stem cell research has the potential to treat or cure each one of these awful diseases. It's likely that you know somebody who may be suffering from one of these ailments. And through extensive research and investigation, I have become a supporter of stem cell research and the benefits that can come from it, and believe that the public should be informed of the issue, adopt these beliefs, and inform and encourage others to do the same. Before arguing for why stem cell research should be publicly accepted, I'll provide you with some background information. So, you may ask, what exactly are stem cells? The National Institute of Health defines stem cells as the foundation of development in plants, animals, and humans. They're different from other kinds of cells by two important characteristics. First off, they're unspecialized cells, meaning that they aren't set as a specific type of cell, such as a brain cell or heart cell, that has a specific function. Their function is that they're capable of self-renewal through cell division, and this division of the cells functions as a type of internal repair system. Secondly, they're capable of developing into more specialized cells. When a stem cell is dividing, each new cell that is formed can either stay a stem cell or become a different type of cell with a more specialized function, such as a muscle cell, red blood cell, or even a brain cell. There are two types of stem cells from humans and animals that can be used in stem cell research, and these are embryonic stem cells and adult stem cells. Embryonic stem cells are ideal for research because they can become all cell types of the body, whereas adult stem cells are limited to differentiating into or becoming different cell types of the tissue in which they are found. Also, embryonic stem cells can be grown relatively easily in the lab, where it's a lot more difficult to maintain adult stem cells in the lab. Though embryonic stem cells are the ideal cells to be used for stem cell research, they're also where much of the controversy pertaining to stem cell research arises from. The largest controversy that generally arises in the discussion of stem cell research is the use of an embryo. I argue that a large portion of this disagreement comes from misinformation or lack of knowledge about the actual process. It's a common misinterpretation that embryonic stem cells are derived from eggs that are fertilized in a woman's body, and that these researchers are taking away the potential life of an individual. However, this is not exactly the case. Yes, embryonic stem cells are obtained from the inner cell mass of the blastocyst, which is a mainly hollow ball of cells that is formed 3 to 5 days after an egg cell has been fertilized by a sperm. So, under normal conditions, if fertilization occurred within a human body, the cells inside the inner cell mass would give rise to the more specialized cells that give rise to the entire body. But the primary source of the embryonic stem cells is derived from embryos that develop from eggs that have been fertilized in an in vitro fertilization clinic. They're fertilized in a test tube. Thus, without being placed in a female's body, they're unable to survive on their own. The embryonic stem cells are donated for research purposes with the informed consent of the donors, usually after a successful fertilization has occurred and impregnated a couple. If they were not donated, they likely would have been discarded or thrown away, so they would not develop into a human life. Thus, this argument that the researchers participating in stem cell research are taking away potential life isn't really a valid argument, because at no point in this process could the cells inside the blastocyst become a human being, since it's not located inside of a human body and it is incapable of developing on its own. So actually, by participating in stem cell research, one is working to save millions of lives, not destroying potential ones. Now that you are informed on what stem cells are, the different types of stem cells, and the major controversy surrounding stem cell research, I can discuss the current medical applications of stem cells and the applications that researchers are working to develop. According to the Mayo Clinic, researchers and doctors believe that stem cell research can help to increase the understanding of how diseases occur, generate healthy cells to replace diseased cells through regenerative medicine, and test new drugs for safety and effectiveness. The primary goal of stem cell research is to identify how undifferentiated stem cells become the differentiated cells that form the tissues and organs of the human body. By watching stem cells mature into cells in bones, heart muscle, nerves, and other organs and tissues, researchers may better understand how diseases and conditions develop. Some of the most serious medical conditions, such as cancer and birth defects, are due to abnormal cell division and differentiation. The baseline for being able to treat and cure these medical conditions comes first from understanding how the medical condition arises. Through this understanding, one is then able to develop manners to manipulate these cells so as to treat these conditions and hopefully one day be able to cure them. Stem cells can be guided to become specific cells that can be used to regenerate and repair diseased or damaged tissues in people. Patients who may benefit the most from these regenerative stem cells include those with spinal cord injuries, type 1 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, heart disease, stroke, burns, cancer, and osteoarthritis. In addition to being used for regenerative medicine, stem cells can also be used to test new drugs for safety and effectiveness. Currently, human stem cells are being used for many different medical conditions. According to Eurostem, blood stem cells are used in bone marrow transplants. Skin stem cells are used to save the lives of patients who have third-degree burns over large areas of their bodies. Cord blood cells are currently used to treat children with blood disorders such as leukemia. These treatments have already shown that stem cells can be beneficial in treating many different medical ailments, and now they're working to develop more treatments for many other diseases. There are over 21,557,210 Americans who are living with debilitating and life-changing diseases. Stem cell researchers have developed numerous medical treatments for some of these diseases and are working to develop more so that these people will be able to lead better quality of lives. Now that you are informed about stem cell research, I urge you to inform others about this topic and persuade them to support these researchers in their journey to treat and cure some of life's most awful diseases. Thank you.